January 1st, 2026, today, right now. 5 months until the World Cup. And 48 hours ago, one of Messi's closest friends walked into a television studio and said 3 words that have sent shockwaves through world football. I have no doubt. Javier Zanetti, Argentina legend, Inter Milan vice president. One of the few people Messi actually trusts, and he just confirmed what nobody was supposed to know yet. But here's what nobody is connecting. Why did Messi sign a contract extension with Inter Miami that runs through 2028, 2 years past the World Cup, if he's planning to retire? Why did that contract include secret clauses tied specifically to FIFA World Cup 2026 marketing rights? And why did Messi himself say, just weeks ago, that his final decision depends on what happens in January? Today is January 1st. The test begins today. And what happens in the next 4 weeks will determine if the greatest player of all time plays one final World Cup or walks away from the sport forever. Before I reveal the hidden contract clause that proves Messi has already made his decision, you need to subscribe to Cyberboot. Because what you're about to discover in the next 13 minutes isn't speculation. It's evidence. It's leaks from inside his inner circle. It's the truth that FIFA and Argentina are keeping quiet until the moment is right. The clock is ticking, and Lionel Messi is about to make the most important decision of his career again. Welcome back to Cyberboot, where we don't just report football rumors. We investigate contracts, decode statements, and connect the dots that mainstream media refuses to acknowledge. Today's story is about legacy, about a 38-year-old man who has already won everything, who has already proven he's the greatest, who has nothing left to prove, and yet he might do it anyway. Lionel Messi, World Cup 2026. The question that has dominated football for the past year. Will he? Won't he? Should he? Can he? For months, Messi's answer has been the same. I don't know. I'll decide in January. Well, it's January. And in the past 72 hours, 3 pieces of evidence have emerged that suggest the decision has already been made. That the announcement is just a matter of timing. That Messi, his agents, Inter Miami, and the Argentine FA are waiting for the perfect moment to make it official. Evidence. 1. The October 2025 contract extension with Inter Miami and the hidden World Cup clause buried in the fine print. Evidence number 2. The Zanetti leak from December 30th. I have no doubt it will happen. Evidence source. 3. Messi's own words from late December. I'll assess it in January based on how my body feels. And here's what makes this story explosive. The World Cup draw in December 2025 placed Argentina in Group J with Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. A group so manageable that Messi could potentially play reduced minutes in the group stage and save himself for the knockouts. It's almost like the draw was designed for him. So the question isn't, will Messi play in World Cup 2026? The question is, when will he announce it, and what does he need to prove to himself in January before he commits? Let me take you inside the evidence, the leaks, the hidden contract clause, and the physical test that begins today. Let's start with the contract, because this is where the story really begins. October 23rd, 2025. Inter Miami CF. Lionel Messi signs a contract extension. The official announcement says it's a multi-year deal through the 2028 MLS season. On the surface, this looks like a standard extension. Messi is 38 years old. He's settled in Miami. His family loves it. He wants to finish his career in the United States. Simple, right? Wrong. According to sources close to the negotiations, reported by The Athletic and ESPN in late October, the contract includes specific clauses tied to the FIFA World Cup 2026. These clauses cover image rights during the tournament, Messi's face on World Cup marketing while under contract with Inter Miami, reduced training load in April-May 2026, allowing him to manage his fitness before joining Argentina, post-World Cup rest period, guaranteed time off in July-August 2026, regardless of tournament outcome. Now, here's the question. Why would you negotiate World Cup clauses if you're planning to retire before the tournament? You wouldn't. This isn't a maybe I'll play contract. This is a We know I'm playing, so let's make sure the logistics are handled now contract. Inter Miami's ownership, led by David Beckham and Jorge Mas, needs Messi to play in the World Cup. Why? Because if Argentina goes deep in a tournament hosted in the United States, with Messi as the face of the team, Inter Miami's brand value explodes. Think about it. World Cup 2026 is hosted by the USA, Canada, and Mexico. Miami is one of the host cities. If Argentina plays knockout matches in Miami with Messi, the commercial value is incalculable. According to Forbes, Messi's presence in the 2026 World Cup could generate over $500 million in additional revenue for MLS and its clubs through increased ticket sales, merchandise TV viewership, sponsorship deals. Inter Miami isn't just allowing Messi to play, they're banking on it. And the October 2025 contract extension? That's the proof. But contracts are just paper. What about the people in Messi's inner circle? What are they saying? That's where the Zanetti leak becomes critical. Before we continue, I need your take. Do you think Messi has already made his decision, or is he genuinely undecided? Drop already decided or still deciding in the comments, because this answer will determine how you interpret everything that comes next. December 30th, 2025, 442 magazine. Javier Zanetti, Argentina legend, Inter Milan vice president, and one of Messi's closest friends in football, sits down for an interview. The journalist asks, "Do you think Messi will play in the 2026 World Cup?" Zanetti's response, "I have no doubt it will happen. He wants to represent his country again. Not I hope, not maybe, not we'll see. I have no doubt." Now here's why this statement is massive. Zanetti isn't a pundit. He's not a journalist speculating for clicks. He's one of the few people who has direct access to Messi. They played together for Argentina. They've remained close. And Zanetti is known for being cautious with his words. When Zanetti says, "I have no doubt," he's not guessing, he knows. Let's talk about who Messi actually trusts with information about his career. His wife, Antonella Rocuzzo. His brothers and father, his agent, Rodolfo Schinocca. Sergio Aguero, Javier Mascherano, Javier Zanetti. That's it. That's the list. When someone from that list speaks publicly about Messi's plans, it's not speculation. It's a leak. And here's the twist. Zanetti's interview was published on December 30th. Just 2 days before January 1st, the exact date Messi said he'd begin his assessment. Coincidence? Or was Zanetti preparing the public for an announcement that's coming very soon? Let's map out the timeline. October 23rd, 2025. Messi signs Inter Miami extension with World Cup clauses. In late December 2025. Messi says publicly, "I'll assess in January." December 30th, 2025, Zanetti leaks, "I have no doubt." January 1st, 2026. Today, Messi begins preseason training with Inter Miami. Do you see the pattern? Everything is converging on January. But here's the part that nobody is talking about. What if the assessment isn't about whether he plays, but about how much he plays? What if the decision has already been made, and January is just about testing his body to determine his role in the team? Because here's the thing. Messi doesn't need to play 90 minutes in every match. Argentina doesn't need him to be the same player he was in 2022. They just need him to be there. And that's where the World Cup draw becomes critical. December 13th, 2025. FIFA World Cup draw, Zurich, Switzerland. Argentina's group is revealed. Group J opponents, Algeria, Austria, Jordan. On paper, this is one of the most favorable groups Argentina could have asked for. Let me break down why this draw changes everything for Messi's decision. Algeria, African champions, solid defensively, but not elite by World Cup standards. Argentina should win this match comfortably. Austria, a well-organized European side, but lacking star power. A draw or narrow win is realistic. Jordan, making their World Cup debut. With all due respect, Argentina should dominate this match 3-0 or 4-0. With this group, Argentina's coaching staff, led by Lionel Scaloni, can implement a rotation strategy designed specifically to protect Messi. Match 1 versus Algeria. Messi plays 60-70 minutes. Argentina wins comfortably. he's subbed off to rest. Match 2 versus Austria. Messi starts on the bench. Argentina fields a strong X-in without him. If they're winning, he doesn't play. If they need a goal, he comes on for 30 minutes. Match 3 versus Jordan. Argentina has already qualified. Messi either rests entirely or plays 45 minutes for match fitness. Do you see the genius of this plan? By the time the round of 16 begins, Messi has played maybe 120 minutes total across 3 matches. His body is fresh, his legs are saved for the knockout stages. This isn't about Messi carrying Argentina through the tournament. It's about Messi being a strategic weapon in the moments that matter most. And here's the part that should convince you he's playing. If the draw had placed Argentina in a group of death with Brazil, Germany, and a dangerous third team, Messi might have looked at that and said, "I can't put my 38-year-old body through that." But Group J? That's manageable. That's designed for exactly this situation. Now, I'm not saying FIFA rigged the draw to favor Messi, but I am saying that FIFA is very aware that Messi playing in a USA-hosted World Cup is worth billions in revenue. And if the draw just happens to give Argentina a path that allows Messi to manage his minutes, well, that's very convenient, isn't it? All right, controversial question. Do you think the World Cup draw was fair, or do you think there was some influence to make sure Argentina got a favorable group? Drop fair or rigged in the comments. Let's see how conspiracy-minded this community is. So we've established the contract has World Cup clauses, Zanetti has no doubt. The draw is favorable, but there's one final piece, the January test, and it begins today. Messi's own words. In his most recent interview, conducted in late December with Argentine media, Messi was asked directly, "Will you play in the World Cup?" His response, "I would like to be there, but I have to assess how I feel in January during pre-season. If my body responds well, then yes. If not, I won't force it." This is the official line. The statement everyone is pointing to as evidence that the decision isn't made yet. But here's what that statement actually means when you decode it. I would like to be there. I want to play. Emotional decision is yes. If my body responds well, Sauk, the only obstacle is physical. I won't force it. I'm being responsible. This isn't the statement of someone who's undecided. This is the statement of someone who's already decided, but needs plausible deniability in case his body breaks down in January. The January training camp. Inter Miami's preseason begins today, January 1st, 2026. Over the next 4 weeks, Messi will undergo daily training sessions with the squad fitness assessments every 72 hours, tactical drills simulating World Cup match intensity, recovery monitoring. This isn't a normal preseason, this is a World Cup audition, and Messi is auditioning for himself. According to sources close to Inter Miami's medical staff, reported by The Athletic, Messi's fitness targets for January are complete at least 80% of full training sessions without injury, reach 90% of his peak sprint speed from 2024, show no signs of recurring muscle fatigue. If he hits those targets, the announcement comes in February. Here's my prediction for how this plays out. Late January, Messi completes training camp successfully, no injuries, fitness targets met. Early February, Messi has a private conversation with Scaloni. They agree on a reduced minutes plan. March 2026, Argentina plays Spain in the Finalissima. This match becomes Messi's final test. If he plays 60-90 minutes against elite opposition and feels good, the announcement comes immediately after. Late March, early April, official announcement, Messi confirms he will play in World Cup 2026. And here's why I believe this timeline is real. Messi is a perfectionist. He doesn't make decisions based on emotion alone. He needs data. He needs to prove to himself that he can still compete at the highest level. January gives him that data. The Finalissima gives him that proof. And once he has both, he'll announce. Not because he has to, but because he knows he can. Final question before we wrap. If you were Messi, would you play in World Cup 2026? Knowing you're 38, knowing you've already won, knowing the physical risk? Drop play or retire in the comments. Let's see what this community decides. Let's talk about legacy, because ultimately, That's what this decision is about. Messi has won 8 Ballon d'Ors, 4 Champions Leagues, the World Cup 2022, Copa America 2021, Olympic gold 2008, over 800 career goals. He is complete. He has proven everything, so why would he risk it all for one more tournament? Pelé played in 4 World Cups. He won 3 of them. He was the face of the sport across 2 decades. Messi has played in 5 World Cups. He's won 1. If he plays in 2026, it will be 6 World Cups, the most in history. And if Argentina goes deep, if they reach the semi-finals or final, Messi becomes the only player to ever captain his nation to back-to-back World Cup finals. That's not just legacy, that's immortality. But here's the twist that nobody talks about. What if Messi doesn't do it for the records? What if he does it for something simpler? For his sons? Messi's 3 sons, Thiago, Matteo, and Ciro, are now old enough to understand what their father is doing. In 2022, they were young, they saw the trophy, they celebrated. But in 2026, they'll be old enough to remember, to sit in the stands, to watch their father play in a World Cup on American soil where they now live. Messi himself said in a recent interview, "My kids are starting to understand what I do. They ask me about my career. They want to see me play." What if this isn't about Pelé? What if it's about them? What if Messi wants his sons to have one last memory of watching their dad play in a World Cup? That's not ego, that's love. And if that's the reason, then the decision has already been made. So there you have it, the complete breakdown of why Lionel Messi is almost certainly playing in World Cup 2026, the hidden contract clause, the Zanetti leak, the favorable draw, the January test that begins today. And most importantly, the legacy, the sons, the immortality. Before you go, I need 4 things from you. Subscribe to Cyberboot right now. We're breaking stories like this days before mainstream media catches up. If you want to be ahead of the narrative, this is your home. Hit that like button if you believe Messi is playing. Your engagement tells me you want more investigative football content like this. Get into the comments and answer the 3 questions I asked. Has Messi already decided, or is he still deciding? Already decided, or still deciding? Was the World Cup draw fair or rigged? Fair or rigged? If you were Messi, would you play? Play or retire? Drop your answers now. I'm reading every single comment. Share this video with one person who still thinks Messi is retiring. Change their mind. Show them the evidence. January 1st, 2026. The test begins today. And in 5 months, the world will watch as a 38-year-old man steps onto a pitch in Miami, New York, or Los Angeles, and writes the final chapter of the greatest career football has ever seen. Not because he has to, but because he still can.